So welcome back to the channel. In this video, let's talk about Celsius with an update, Nexo, Vauld, and even Euro versus the dollar. So very interesting stuff going on each and every day here. Most of it kind of negative right now. I'm considering putting together a kind of crypto positive fundamentals. There has been some catalysts going on over the last few weeks that haven't really been reported due to the fact that, everything's been, blowing up all over the shop. So I might put together a positive hopium based video just to try and balance things out recently, because it's all so negative and it does really just bring your mood down if you're spending too much time in this space right now. But let's start off here. Celsius pays down $143 million in DAI from loans, and that's over on Maker, and that's since July 1st. So they're paying down this massive Bitcoin position they have open on Maker, and that totals $142.8 million. And most recently, over the last 24 hours, they've started to really reduce down that liquidation price. So they put in around $50 million, and then an additional $64 million in DAI was posted as well. So combined, this started to move down their liquidation price on that BTC from around $12,800, I believe it was. And a lot of people jesting, saying that's where the BTC price will end up, as big players will want to liquidate Celsius. Then that started to move down, so it's around $8,800, and then subsequently down to $4,966. So this is the actual vault here. 4967.04 is the magic number down there. Now this is a huge ways away from liquidation and where the current price is sat, and there's quite a lot of key levels for Bitcoin around 16k, 12k, 10k, that in worst case scenarios we would have a good battle around there. You can never say never in crypto, but $4,967, touch wood, is a level that we won't see. So this in a way is very positive in terms of, if this gets liquidated, this collateral here, is game over for a lot of users' funds on Celsius. But on the flip side to this as well, where are they kind of getting this money to pay down those loans? So interesting times. A lack of transparency is obviously very troubling right now, but just to put that in perspective here, we'd have to have a drawdown in the Bitcoin price for that vault to be liquidated of around 74-75% from here. So it does seem highly, highly unlikely. Shoring things up a little bit. Obviously, they're working in the background here over at Celsius in terms of managing those positions. So that is kind of positive. Additional to this, we had this crypto lender Celsius cut 150 jobs amid restructuring. So this is the report here from CoinDesk. They suggest the firm has 650 staff, and this means a reduction of around 23% of those. So the company is said to be exploring options to preserve and protect assets following its mid-June turmoil. So preservation and protection, moving down liquidation prices, A, check, and then B, reducing the number of staff, overheads being reduced therefore, and that means, of course, less costs, less liabilities for them. So this is also following the footsteps of the likes of Bybit, Huobi, and Coinbase, who also really ramped up their hiring over the bull market and are now having to reverse their actions. So it seems quite a few companies in crypto were way too bullish and are now being bitten on the bum as a result of this. So this is kind of positive news in a way for Celsius. The fact that they're taking steps to reduce their overheads, and of course there's liquidation levels as well. So Simon Dixon has been the man with the plan here, putting out all the good content, keeping people's fears at bay, and really uniting the Celsius community here. And he started to get a little bit of praise or some positivity from some Bitcoin Maxis who have been at his throat as of late. So this one was Max Kaiser. I think he put maybe out one negative tweet about this whole Celsius recovery plan, and now he seems to have switched his tune up here and says, follow my friend Simon Dixon, CEO and founder of Bank to the Future, the longest serving and best investment banker in the space, author of Bank to the Future, the first published book to mention Bitcoin. So there seems to be some positivity around Simon now. He's building a good reputation here and gelling the community nicely together. Hosted yet another Q&A yesterday on Twitter Spaces, 3.5 hours long. So go and check that out if you're interested in the recovery plan. Some really interesting chats in there. A lot of interesting questions from people with different, areas of skin in the game, some depositors, some shareholders, Some who are actually waiting to try and buy some sell token. Of course, do that at your own risk, but there is a sell short squeeze going on currently, and it looks like there's not too many coins over on FTX right now, so the price may well go up. Corey Clipstone was another one who's kind of reversed action on his negative sentiment. He's from Bitcoin Swan, I believe it is, which is another I think it's a lending company as well. So he seemed to have a bit of issue with Celsius, but I think it's because they were rivals. But he says this, from what I've seen over the past few years, Simon Dixon is a high integrity guy. We don't agree on everything all the time, but he's extremely smart and I do business with him. It's worth reading his proposal for Celsius Network. So that was the first positive thing that this Corey guy has put out. And this was remarked in the comments down here. So quite interesting stuff in terms of someone who was really negative towards Celsius. This person says, so now you change your mind, loser. So it seems to be that this depositors first Celsius recovery plan that Simon's put together is gaining a bit of positive press here and gaining some traction. So I think this is all good stuff. You don't want to go down without at least a good fight here. So Celsius update wise, reduced liquidation levels on a huge vault they've got open, reduce the number of employees, thus reducing overheads, and hopefully there's going to be a rescue plan put together once we know all the final numbers and how big of a hole is left. So interesting times there with Celsius. Now over to this, the Dixie DXY. So this is the value of the dollar versus a basket of other shitcoins, i.e. fiat currencies. And it broke through today. It absolutely got sent here. So that was the 105.78 level. That was the previous spike high over the last month. And it absolutely blasted through this. So typically what happens is if the Dixie is going up, other assets generally, especially Bitcoin, is on its way back down. We've started to see Bitcoin move up a little bit here towards the kind of 20K region, even moving as high as around 20,700 and change over the last 24 hours. But with the Dixie moving higher, Bitcoin and crypto assets should come down a bit lower here. So overall, this is a bearish move for crypto assets, but it's also highly bearish for other coins, fiat currencies out there. The main one being the euro. So this may be a case of not just dollar strength, but huge weakness for the euro. The euro hasn't seen this level versus the dollar since around 2002 back here. And at now trading at 1 to 1.03, we're almost at parity here. So as Western Nakamura put out earlier, the euro getting crushed right now is indeed not a matter of USD strength, but a matter of euro just losing a load of value here. So euro is down versus the dollar, the Japanese yen, the Great British pound, as we are not in the euro, and also the Swiss franc. It has hit parity versus the Swiss franc here, 0.99 and change, versus the pound, 0.085 cents. So the euro getting crushed here, a lot of bad things happening in the Eurozone, massive issues over in the Netherlands, if you go and check that out. And there are probably going to be some serious money printing going on by the Eurozone in the not too distant future, I would imagine. Now, let's go on to Bitcoin Archive's posts here over the last few hours. He reported about the Celsius loan being paid down. There is also a Bitcoin mining report being released by the White House in August. That'll be interesting. Over the next month or so, we've got the earnings of US companies. So this, if they're bad, will be obviously negative for the crypto markets as well. But if we just go down here, inflation in Turkey soars to 78% in June. That is crazy. The Turkish lira is getting absolutely nuked. Could make for a good destination for holiday mind. But there was some positive news in here as well. Russia, the central bank says it's going to support legal Bitcoin mining as long as that Bitcoin that's mined is sold outside of Russia. So the flip-flopping of Russia and BTC continues, but there may be some positive action within this here, and you could see them come online as a huge miner, which would be politicizing Bitcoin further. This is going to be very interesting to see how that unfolds in the future. Now over to Nexo. So Nexo and Vauld here. So Vauld, again, another deposit your crypto with us, earn a yield, take out loans against your crypto. Same kind of situation as the likes of Nexo, as the likes of Celsius, BlockFi, etc. They halted withdrawals yesterday on July 4th, so much to the despair of many of their investors. But now, 24 hours later, Nexo apparently, potentially, are going to be acquiring Vauld. So Nexo, who have been, jawboning, showing a position of strength here, they wanted to buy Celsius or some of Celsius's assets or loans. They've actually put together an offer here, it seems, and signed an indicative term sheet with lender Vauld. So taking over the rivals, London-based Nexo will begin due diligence and plans to acquire up to 100% of the troubled firms. Clients' withdrawals will remain halted for now. So that after shut up shop from Vauld just yesterday. So this is a cool thread here from Crypto India as to the background of this. So yet another lending platform, Vauld, halting deposits, withdrawals, and trading on its platform. But let's have a little deeper look at what the heck has been going on. So this is a Singapore-based firm since 2018, and interest on crypto holdings up to around 12.5%. It has 275 coins listed on its platform, so you can see the reason why it would be so enticing for many investors. Deposit your funds on here, use it as a wallet, and gain a nice APY. In July 2021, Vauld received a $25 million Series A funding from Valar Ventures, Pantera Capital, and Coinbase Ventures. So this puts it in some esteemed company there with big VC backers. So this is probably one of the reasons why many people are very comfortable putting money into these kind of investments, due to the fact it has all the big names behind it. But Vauld had grown very quickly. They 10x their AUM and 40x their user base, and a lot of their user base was actually Indian. So 20% of the AUM, contributing $10 to $15 million in daily volume, was from Indian clients. So these guys have been hit. But why has this potentially unfolded like this? Well, due to recent regulatory changes, on top of the fact, obviously, we had the lunar collapse, Celsius, 3 Arrows, etc., Vauld have kind of kept that at arm's length, suggesting that they weren't involved in any of these things. But what they have had negative happen to them is the fact there's a load of new tax rules in India on crypto assets. So this has spooked a load of Indian investors, and they've started to really take off their assets en masse. So, however, due to overall negative market sentiment and new tax rules, Vauld saw withdrawals of $200 million in the past 25 days itself from its Indian users. So when a key demographic has changes to their environment and they start to pull off their funds very, very quickly, this causes liquidity issues. So Vauld issued a statement saying that they had no other choice but to halt withdrawals, deposits, and trading on their platform, i.e. a bit of a bank run was going on. So this is a bit of a background as to why this has happened for Vauld. It doesn't seem to suggest they were part of the contagion issues, but for other reasons, their investors have started to really pull off their funds ASAP. And of course, with the likes of Celsius, Voyager, BlockFi having these liquidity issues and people withdrawing their funds, that's kind of the panic mode in the market here. So we'll see how this one pans out as well, but yet another one of these lenders going south rather quickly, and someone having to step in and try to get fresh funding for them. So rather negative stuff, yet another negative story here, but that's kind of where we are with Nexo taking over Vauld potentially in the coming days or weeks. So they will be expanding operations. So just finishing up here, looking through Gecko, you can see a load of your favorite cryptocurrencies about par with where they have been over the last couple of days. We're expecting maybe some form of mean reversion bounce at some points. You can see Bitcoin moving into the high 20s if that does occur. Maybe if it recaptures the 200 weekly moving average. But at this moment in time, things are looking pretty static, and there's obviously huge grey clouds hanging over the industry with these lenders getting major issues. If there's going to be further liquidations, people aren't going to commit funds and step in and start bidding things up again. So quick question here is, how many of these cryptos will have a market cap greater than $1 billion come the end of this year. I think we still have quite a bit of purging left to go. So currently there are 49 cryptocurrencies with a market cap of over $1 billion. Bitcoin Satoshi's vision certainly will be dipping below that. The likes of Axie, Theta, Elrond, Filecoin, Decentraland, Tezos, maybe all these will also suffer the same fate and go into the hundreds of millions club once again. I do think there's still some pain ahead here, and we have not seen maybe the ultimate bottom, and we'll probably at least revisit 17.5k. But at this moment in time, so many dark clouds, so many macro factors still, unresolved, that it's hard to see us doing anything other than grinding down a bit lower here. So the DCA machine will be fired up again at some point, but that time is not yet. Just sit back, observe, and see where this all starts to move in the future. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you smash a like on today's video, subscribe to the channel as well, help me out guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.